This is Hannibal here from thehannibaltv.com with a daily wrestling news update. Batista, who has lost a ton of weight, no point staying as jacked as he was in WWE if he's not playing those roles anymore. I think he's not doing that Marvel movie anymore, and he's taking more serious acting roles, and that puts a lot of pressure on your heart. So good to see he's losing weight. Looks great. He appeared on Jimmy Fallon last night to promote his new movie, My Spy, The Eternal City, that's on Amazon Prime Video. In that interview, he talked about recently doing another movie with Samuel L. Jackson, and he also brought up that Sarge from WCW told him he would never make it in wrestling. Now he's one of the biggest crossover stars in wrestling ever. I'm actually surprised. I mean, I know he's not in wrestling condition now, but I'm surprised AEW hasn't reached out to him for something, because he's one of the guys that could make somewhat of a difference, at least on a temporary basis, because it's been so long since he's done anything. And he was extremely popular. And by the way, I did get to take some moves from him once before Raw in Calgary, all the way back in 2004, when he was practicing some stuff with Arn Anderson. Last thing about Batista, he recently got a Winnie the Pooh tattoo for whatever reason. According to Dave Meltzer, John Cena is ahead of Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels as WWE doing better business with Cena on top, but he was never in the Hogan or Austin category. And Hogan and Savage and the whole Hogan house show era did a lot better business. And the Hogan Saturday Night's Main Event TV era is unmatchable, even in the Attitude Era, even though the Attitude Era did pretty damn good ratings overall. I keep hearing like how great business is, and I know they're making more money than ever, but they're not even doing house shows hardly at all anymore. And their sellout streak is gone. They're still getting some good, like some outlier good crowds, like in the 12,000s and great crowds for pay-per-views. But it's not like house shows are selling out and that there's 3 house shows a night and that when you walk into a mall, everyone's wearing wrestling TV shirt or wrestling shirts and everyone's talking about wrestling on TV. I don't hear anyone talking about wrestling on TV other than in the wrestling news. And I'm not hating on it. They are making more money than ever. I just don't see, as far as like, although they can do great crowds and stuff, and for the big shows, when they bring back all these stars, there's a lot of talk about it. I just don't see it in the mainstream as much as it used to be. Although there are guys like Cena, Batista, Lesnar that are really known to the general public. I still don't think if I were to go on the street and ask 100 people who Roman Reigns is, that more than 10 or 12 people would know who Roman Reigns is. I think for John Cena, more than 50 people would know who John Cena is. And for The Rock, obviously, everyone knows The Rock. Everybody knows Hulk Hogan. I would say 80% of people would know Austin. I'm just saying the wrestlers overall aren't as known today. Like Roman Reigns has not eclipsed John Cena yet. He might. He very well might. And Cody Rhodes has not eclipsed Roman Reigns yet. Business has actually been down with Cody Rhodes. I mean, the biggest match going in, not down, but like interest with Cody Rhodes not chasing the title anymore. It's not there because he doesn't have any viable contenders until he faces The Rock. I guess the biggest match going into SummerSlam that people are most interested in is CM Punk against Drew McIntyre. Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley might very well be going to NXT. It was originally thought they were going to AEW. Apparently, as far as the no house shows, wrestlers are happy with it because they're being paid the same because they're under guaranteed contracts now to work less. However, for the less experienced wrestlers, it will hurt their improvement rate. And as far as the company goes, sometimes the house shows don't make money. Sometimes they break even. Sometimes they make some money. I guess it's just not worth it for them to put the talent's health at risk to do the house shows. Although I have to admit, one of the coolest things when I was a kid is actually going and seeing the stars that you watch on TV at the house shows. That was like, I lived for going to see WWE live events when I was a kid. I was a massive fan. I still am a fan of old school wrestling, but it's I don't know if you're going to have that fan connection only doing TV tapings and bigger shows in major cities as they did when they would do like house shows going to smaller towns. And they've already been cutting back on this over the last few years. Cody Rhodes did an interview recently that said AEW is running off their audience. He also and I disagree with that. I mean, I'm not questioning his popularity, but he compares his stint in AEW before going back to WWE to Hulk Hogan's stint between when he was Sterling or when he was wrestling Andre in WWF to going to AWA, becoming babyface, to going back to WWE, exploding in popularity. I'm sorry, Cody is known among wrestling fans, but he hasn't broken the mainstream level as Hulk Hogan. And he's just, when I saw that promo, and I don't think anyone can argue with me on this, that Donald Trump convention, Republican convention promo that Hulk Hogan did, all I could think about is how boring the promos today with people like Cody Rhodes are. Because that Hulk Hogan promo at the Donald Trump convention was the best promo I'd seen in a long time. The best promo I'd seen since Ric Flair's heel promo at the pizza place. AEW is sending MJF to CMLL in Mexico. Again, I mean, Collision tonight is going to be the first show in Arlington, Texas, where it's only going to be set up for about 1,000, and they're going to be there for 6 or 7 weeks. They only have about 700 tickets out, including comps right now. And to my knowledge, MJF is not on the show, but they're talking about him going to Mexico. The one strange thing I find about AEW, again, they're prioritizing. Why is it in the news today, the start of AEW's residency in Texas, that MJF is wrestling in Mexico? So instead of thinking about the AEW Collision show tonight that you could put MJF on, supposedly he's making $5 million a year, it's in the news that he's going to be wrestling in Mexico. The very few fans from Canada or the US even know about. They're talking about CMLL now more than ever because AEW is featuring it. Other than that, nobody's really ever cared about CMLL from Canada or the US other than the absolute Supermark fans. And I still don't care about it. I really don't. I really don't. But I'm just saying it's weird. A weird business choice. You're paying a guy $5 million a year. He's not even on the first Collision in Arlington, to my knowledge, tonight, where you only have 700 tickets pre-sold out, and there's no buzz about the show tonight. But you're putting news out that MJF is going to be wrestling for a different company. You have an affiliation with it, but why don't you just prioritize your own company rather than prioritizing these other companies sometimes? I just don't get it. AEW has still not finalized their TV deal, according to Dave Meltzer.